What I suppose we saw in Walthamstow last August was not principled anti-racism, nor was it the sober moral leadership one might expect from an elected official. Ricky Jones, the councillor, this Labour councillor, his alleged conduct urging that political opponents have their throats slit and acting it out with a hand gesture was grotesque, dangerous, and an example of the very kind of rabble-rousing he claims to oppose. It doesn't matter that the targets of his invective were described as far right. The language and imagery of political violence corrodes demographic culture, whether deployed by the right, left, or anyone in between. And the problem here is twofold. First, Jones's words played directly into the kind of tribal politics where the humanity of one's adversaries is denied and issues are reduced to crude caricature. And by publicly dehumanizing opponents, he gave license to extremism rather than diffusing it. And his behavior is the mirror image of the right-wing incitement he presumably abhors. Both feed on outrage, both create tinderbox atmospheres, and both obscure the real policy disputes that should be addressed. Second, this incident underscores how theatrical politics can eclipse substance. And at a time when the far right was seeking to provoke a confrontation, Jones obliged them by giving them the story. Instead of exposing their falsehoods or presenting a compelling alternative vision, he offers his own theatrics that themselves were morally bankrupt and strategically inept. For goodness sake. His defiance of both police advice and party instruction to stay away from the protest shows not bravery but hubris and a belief that the rules for de-escalation do not apply to him. And a functioning democracy cannot survive on the currency of mutual threats from this is in this tribe, that is in that tribe. It doesn't matter. People from both tribes should be talking rather than stage managing these ridiculous gestures of defiance. Political rhetoric can be sharp, yes. Satire can be invoked, yes, but not sharp enough to slit a throat. When leaders abandon measured argument for violent imagery, they drag the public square towards barbarism. Jones's words were not just a personal lapse, they are part of a wider malaise in which the politics of spectacle replaces the politics of reason. And I think to myself, Julian Clary was excoriated for making a significantly milder comment about one of the senior members of John Major's government. And you just think, this is it's diabolical, really, when somebody who has elected office chooses to use their platform to display such a level of stupidity and to offer such incendiary stuff. I think he's a pillock, really. Of course, we don't know quite exactly whether he's done it or not done it, and what the information is. So I suppose one should have to cover everything with allegedly. But his words, if true, they're not just a personal lapse. And if this is what passes for solidarity in some activist circles, meeting hatred with threats, then it's not solidarity at all. It's simply another form of contempt. And this is how tribalism devours itself. The lines between righteous indignation and mob incitement blur until both sides are speaking the same poisonous language. And when that happens, the real social crisis, racism, inequality, public safety, these things are no longer being solved. They are being shouted over and they are being encouraged on both sides. And it is detestable. It is detestable to witness.